the 17 best data science certificates. They can help you start a career in a high-paying field and get closer to a job, even if you have no prior experience or no degree. But let's be realistic. If you're starting from zero, a quick course like the Google Data Analytics certificate is not going to get you a job. Instead, it is about combining these to learn the right skills. But not all certificates and courses are the same, and if you take the wrong ones, you'll risk wasting lots of time, even months, with nothing to gain. So today I want to cover the best Coursera certificates for data science that can help you learn high-paying skills and actually get hired. If you're wondering how I select these courses, I'm using personal experience with some of these, as well as what I hear from other people, but more importantly, the reviews they're getting and their popularity. So I'm putting all of this research together to show you the best data science certificates. First, let me quickly explain what certificates are. You take courses, and after completion, you'll receive a final certificate. And it's basically just a piece of paper stating that you've done something, and you can add this to your LinkedIn or your resume or print it out. And I love collecting these. It kind of becomes like an addiction. Nowadays, we call a bundle of courses professional certificates. And it's like a few courses related to a specific career, often for beginners, bundled together in a package. In this video, certificates refer to courses that give you a certificate once you finish it. Now I think we're on the same page, so let's get started. The first one is going to be the data science and machine learning certificates, and then we'll dig into the data engineering ones, and finally talk about the data analyst certificates. All of these will be for complete beginners, and all of these will also be very useful, so make sure that you stick around until the end, because if you use these correctly and you get the right ones, they can actually help you improve your career significantly. And I mean, these are some of the highest paying jobs available out there right now. First up on the list, we have the IBM Data Science Professional Certificate. This one is for aspiring data scientists and in general those who are looking to break into data science, whatever your job you're looking for. It's beginner level, 5 months at 10 hours a week, and you learn some of the key tools data scientists need. To get the final certificate, you have to complete 10 different courses, and this includes basic introduction to data science, a course about the tools and programming languages, a course about some of the methodology, and you'll also do a Python project and learn Python in general, while also learning about databases and SQL. And in course number 7, you'll also do a little bit of data analysis, visualization, and finally machine learning. And everything in this one, or pretty much all of it, is using Python, so it's a lot of Python in this course. You will also do a capstone project, which is kind of like a final project that you can put in your portfolio later. So how can this one help you if you're looking to move into data science? Well, Python is definitely a skill to learn. It's very valuable. And in this course, you're focusing on Python as the kind of main thing, so it's definitely one of the big advantages. This is going to give you a strong foundation for whatever you want to do next. Although it is a pretty short course, so it's definitely not enough to become a data scientist, but rather I see it as a piece in the bigger puzzle. So let's continue. Number 2 on the list is the Data Science Specialization from Johns Hopkins University. It's also for entry-level people looking to become a data scientist. Now, this one is a little bit different, and it's actually from a university and not from a company. Johns Hopkins is a major US-based university with a strong reputation. Universities tend to focus more on the theory rather than practical stuff, so we'll see what this course actually looks like. It's also beginner level and 7 months at 10 hours a week, so a little bit longer than the IBM one. There are 10 different courses in the program, and they're relatively similar, but you'll find a lot of differences to the IBM one as well. In the beginning, they give you an introduction to what a data scientist does, and then you'll start working with R. The R programming language is going to be a key part of this course, and you'll also use it for most of the other courses. The major difference here is that it actually digs deeper into things like statistical inference and regression models. When it comes to the practical side, it is only 8 hours, or technically another course developing data products as well as a capstone project, but the main difference here is that this one is focusing on R and the other one is working with Python exclusively. Whether you should pick R or Python is completely up to you, and we're going to go through courses that include both of them. Python is more in demand and there are more job openings in general, but R is also very popular, especially in academia or research, so it does make sense that the university focuses on this language. Next up on the list, we have a Microsoft certificate, and these ones are very popular and for good reason. It's the Azure Data Scientist Associate Professional Certificate. Now this one is for an intermediate level, but I actually checked the specific recommended experience, and it's really not that much. If you've taken a course like the two we mentioned before, or either of them, then you should be just fine. Here you'll learn how to manage Azure resources for machine learning, deploying, operationalize ethical machine learning solutions, as well as run experiments and train models. There are only 5 different courses in the certificate, and the final course is actually preparing for DP100. DP100 is a real certification, so a specific exam that you take directly from Microsoft. It's completely optional and you don't have to take it, and you'll still get your professional certificate, but if you do want to take that option, it can be a great thing to do as well. I would say that it's probably the main advantage about this one is that it directly prepares you for a real Microsoft certification. If you're wondering what the difference is between a certificate and a certification, well, the definitions can be a bit blurry, but in this instance I'm referring to certificates as the course completion certificates, and certifications as the things you get when you take a formal exam, with a proctor in a more real formal setting. Alright, next up on the list is more specific but also very important. I think it's something that most people are missing, especially in data science. Employers are probably going to respect you a little bit more, especially if you don't have a technical background. And it's the mathematics for machine learning and data science specialization. Now this one digs deep into some of the underlying mathematical concepts that make machine learning and data science function that it's based on. So it is a very good idea to dig into some of these as soon as possible. If you already have a degree in a quantitative field, you've probably already worked with some of these concepts, such as statistics and linear algebra, but now you can actually brush up on them and apply them to real data science scenarios. Now this one is also beginner level and 3 months at 5 hours a week. There are only 3 courses, but they are pretty long, so just be aware of that. And the first one is Linear Algebra for Machine Learning and Data Science. The second course is called Calculus, and the third one is about probability and statistics. Now in these 30 hours, give or take, per course, you don't really have time to learn everything about these topics. They're very, very big topics and there is a lot to learn. And this one is definitely not supposed to replace these 3 math courses at university or college, but it's more a way to boost your knowledge and get introduced to them if you haven't heard about it before. It's also going to help you apply these concepts in a more practical scenario or practical setting. So it's perfect for those who are interested in data science, especially those who feel afraid of the math. And you don't have to be afraid, just take this course. Now, if you want to focus on machine learning itself, there is a better course for it, and it's the Machine Learning Specialization by Stanford University. It is also beginner level, but it recommends basic high school math, and the rest is kind of explained in the course. I would say that if you're taking the math course that I just mentioned, you should definitely take this before the machine learning course, because it's going to give you a really solid foundation to help understand some of these concepts and make this course way easier for you. But if you don't want to do that, that's completely fine. It's still made for beginners. But I want to emphasize that it's not meant to be easy by any means. It is machine learning after all. Now in this one, there are 3 different courses. And the first one is Supervised Machine Learning. The second one is Advanced Learning Algorithms. And the final one is Unsupervised Learning, Recommenders, and Reinforcement Learning. I would say that it's probably one of the best ways to dip your toes into machine learning and master the fundamental concepts. Professor Andrew Ng is also famous for his quality teaching, and I do think that it's a very good use of your time. It's only 2 months to 10 hours a week, and while the concepts are supposed to be hard, the 4.9 rating from 22,000 reviews shows that people are very happy with this one, and I rarely see a rating that's as high as this course. Next up is Applied Data Science with Python Specialization from University of Michigan. It is 4 months at 10 hours a week and intermediate level. Now here's where we again need to define intermediate level. In this case, it's an applied data science course, and that means that they focus more on applying the concepts to real-world scenarios, or at least doing something with the concepts. To do that, you'll need to have some of the theoretical and background knowledge as well. Now, in the first course, you're being introduced to data science in Python, but it's not really an introduction to data science itself, and that is why I think you should have taken at least one program where you actually learn the basics of data science before you take this one, but that's pretty much all you need. Now, there are 5 different courses in this one, and the first one is just the introduction. Then it focuses on applied plotting, sharding, and data representation in Python. And then it applies machine learning, text mining, and social network analysis. So who should take this course? I think it's pretty straightforward, and it's for people who have learned the basics but want to focus on Python and also start applying what they've learned. If you're feeling stuck and you've learned the theory and you want to get to doing stuff, this is a perfect course for you. It's been highly rated, so I do think that you should definitely give it a try. Moving on to the data engineering certificates, and then we'll get to the data analysis ones in a second. We've still got 11 amazing certificates left, so we're only just getting started, and these ones can teach you some of the best high income skills and help you get a job that you're looking for. The first one on the list is the IBM Data Engineer Certificate. This one is really exciting because it's a mix of different programs and it's very comprehensive. But still, it's only 5 months at 10 hours a week and it's beginner level, so it's pretty easy to complete this one. You'll actually focus on the practical skills and knowledge of data engineers and what they use in their daily roles. You'll work with NoSQL and big data using MongoDB, Cassandra, Cloudint, Hadoop, Apache Spark, SQL, ML, and streaming. It also teaches you relational databases, creating, designing, and managing them. And don't forget ETL and data pipelines. You'll also learn all about that stuff, extract, transform, load, and classic data engineering tasks. I'm not going to go through every course, but as you notice, some of these are actually in other IBM certificates, such as the IBM Data Science Certificate. And that is also why you'll see some courses with 30,000 ratings and some courses that barely have 200. It's that they're part of other programs as well, so they take the ratings from those programs. Now, I think this one is a pretty comprehensive course, and if we do look at the reviews, there are 4,200 reviews for the 4.6 rating, and 2 of these 13 courses are also practical projects with 1 Python project and 1 final capstone project. So you should at least have 2 projects in your portfolio when you complete this one. Building a portfolio early is definitely going to help you on the job market. And I don't really have anything negative to say about this one. I do think that it's going to teach you a lot of the core data engineering skills. But is it going to help you get a job in data engineering right away? I would say no. It's still quite a short course, and most people that get into the field either have some experience or degree, and if you don't, then continue learning or get into another data role, and then you can progress from there and eventually reach your goals. Next, we have a Google specialization, and it's data engineering, big data, and machine learning on Google Cloud Platform. Now, GCP is a cloud computing platform similar to AWS and Microsoft Azure, and in this one you'll focus on data engineering, but do it specifically with Google's own cloud. So this one is for you with some experience in data engineering, and you're specifically looking to focus on Google Cloud Platform. You don't need to be an expert, but you do need some basic understanding of the concepts that you're going to be working with in this course. It's pretty short at only 1 month at 10 hours a week, so it's basically 40 hours, and there are 5 different courses. The first one teaches you big data and machine learning on Google Cloud. The next one focuses on data lakes and data warehouses, and then building data batch pipelines, and then resilient streaming analytics systems on Google Cloud. And finally, it's smart analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. So again, who should take this course? I think it's somebody who's looking to specialize in this platform with some experience of data engineering. You don't need to be an expert, but if you're looking to learn the fundamentals from scratch, I don't think that it's the right course. The next one is even better though, and I'll explain why. It's the Microsoft Azure Data Engineering Professional Certificate. This one is also intermediate level, and you should have some understanding of data engineering and tools/programming languages like SQL, Python, or Scala. It is 3 months to 10 hours a week, so it's pretty short as well. There are 10 different courses in this one, all of which focus on data engineering tasks and Microsoft Azure. The interesting thing here is the final course, which is called Prepare for DP203. Now, DP203 is also known as Microsoft Certified Azure Data Engineering Associate. It's a real certification that you can take on Microsoft's website, where you basically take a formal exam viewed by a proctor, and then you pass and you become certified by Microsoft. And the thing is that this entire program is preparing you for this certification. So while it's giving you a professional certificate that teaches you everything, it is also giving you the option to prepare for a real certification if you want to take it. And that is probably the main benefit. If you're already taking a course, then why not take a course that specifically prepares you for an industry recognized certification? Now, of course, make sure that you look into this one and see that it's something for you. I talk more about the certification in my data engineering video, and I'll show you how to find this video at the end of this video, because I've still got a lot of great certificates left to show you. Number 4 on the list is from Duke University, and this one is one of the most prestigious schools in the US, and now you can take a course from them and get certified. This one is called Python, Bash, and SQL Essentials for Data Engineering, and it's 4 months at 5 hours a week, so the estimated workload is around 80 hours. They don't require any programming or data engineering knowledge, but you're going to learn a lot in the program, so it's supposed to be for beginners. They do recommend that you understand the basics of Linux, but honestly, it's fine as long as you understand what it is, and there's a whole course about it in the program. Now, there are 4 different courses. The first one will teach you Python and specifically the Pandas library and how to apply it to data engineering. There's also a course about Linux, as I said, and Bash, as well as scripting with Python and SQL. And finally, web applications and command line tools for data engineering. The main benefit here is that if you're looking to learn Python, Bash, and SQL, this is a fantastic opportunity to do so while applying it to data engineering. One major mistake that people make when they learn a programming language is that they learn it for a general use case. But for example, when it comes to Python, there's so much that you can learn. You can use Python to literally build anything. It's super versatile. So if you focus on the data engineering aspect, then you should specifically learn Python for data engineering. Specialization is really the key to success, and you don't have time to learn everything about Python. So I really appreciate that there are courses that actually specialize and focus on the skills that you want to learn. Now, the next course on the list is also from Duke, and it's pretty similar, and it's called Applied Python Data Engineering Specialization. I do have some pros and cons, so wait a moment. Now, this one requires a stronger mathematical foundation and programming knowledge. It's 5 months to 10 hours a week, and it's slightly longer than the other one. But this one actually focuses on elevating your coding skills with data engineering and using big data for decision making, analysis, AI, and machine learning. There are only 3 courses in the program, and it's not as popular and it's also pretty new, but I think it's an untapped gem. The first course is focusing on Spark, Hadoop, and Snowflake and learning these tools. The next one is virtualization, Docker, and Kubernetes. And finally, data visualization with Python. So who's this course for? Well, I would say certainly not complete beginners, since you have other things to spend your time on, like the fundamentals, but it's more for somebody with some experience that want to focus on these things. I'm also slightly suspicious about the reviews, and it's only received 3.7 and 3.5. And that's not terrible, but for these courses, it's not the best either. I think it's because people enroll in this one thinking that it's going to be easier than it actually is, but it does requires significant experience, especially on the mathematical side. And when it comes to the actual curriculum, I do think that it looks very good. So if you are the right fit, then you can definitely give it a try. Now it's time to get into the data analyst certificates, and these ones are probably the best for beginners who want to get into the field and get a data analyst job. You can also use them to transition and get other jobs in the field, and I want to show you the best data analytics certificates available on the market. And I will also compare these certificates with each other as we go along. Data analyst jobs are amazing, but the honest truth is that the job market is very competitive, especially for beginners, so it really is important that you take the right courses, get the right certificates, and focus on the right skills that employers actually look for. As we've seen, many of these courses take a lot of time, so you really don't want to waste time on the wrong course, and I've heard from so many people that regret the course that they spent their time on and wish that they could just go back and start over and do things differently. So let's get started with the top 6 data analyst certificates. The first one on the list is the new Meta Data Analyst Certificates. It is for complete beginners, 5 months at 10 hours a week, and as I'm recording this, the final course is not even available, but when you're watching this, it's probably not going to be a problem. There are 5 different courses, and the first one is an introduction to data analytics, and then it moves over to spreadsheets and SQL, and then a little bit about Python, and course 4 is about statistics, and finally, course 5 is about data management. This one is supposed to be Meta's equivalent to the IBM and Google data analytics certificates, but we still have a lot to cover, so we'll compare them more later. Next up, we have the Microsoft Power BI Data Analyst Professional Certificate. This is a very interesting one, and it's a great option, but not for everybody. Now, it's a beginner level cert, 5 months at 10 hours a week, so it's just as long as the previous one. It is also pretty new, but has an insane amount of enrollments for being so new, and it's really popular, and there are fantastic reviews, which is not surprising considering how it's from Microsoft. There are 8 different courses in this certificate, and the first one covers data preparation using Excel, and then harnessing the power of data with Power BI, so basic data analytics with Power BI, and then we have ETL with Power BI. There's also data modeling, data analysis and visualization, and creative designing in Power BI. And this basically means creating reports, dashboards, and different visualizations. And finally, we have deploy and maintain assets, as well as a capstone project. For those wondering, a capstone project is basically a final project that you do under their guidance, and it's a very good way to start building your portfolio with some projects. In this certificate, there's also a final course which focuses entirely on exam preparation and practice. It is supposed to help you prepare for the PL300 exam, which is Microsoft's own data analyst in Power BI certification. I know that it can get messy with certificates and certifications, but PL300 is basically a formal exam that you take either online or at home, and once you pass, you're officially a Microsoft certified data analyst. This is one of the main benefits of this professional certificate, and it's a normal course, but it will also help you prepare for one of Microsoft's certifications. PL300 is industry recognized and will look very good on your resume, and as a bonus, you actually get 50% off the PL300 exam fee once you complete this certificate on Coursera. I still want to mention the downsides to this course because I think it's important to consider all of the sides. And here, the only bad thing is that it only focuses on Power BI. So if you're looking to learn things like SQL and Python, which you should, then you're going to have to learn them on the side or using one of the other courses that we'll cover up next. Number 3 is a perfect course for those looking to focus more on Python. It is the Google Advanced Data Analytics Certificate. It is 6 months at 10 hours a week, and they claim that it's advanced level, but if we actually look at the details, it does require prior knowledge of foundational analytical principles and tools. So it's definitely not advanced level, but I think you could take this one starting from 0 if you want to, but ideally you would have some experience, and it's probably a better idea to take one of the other courses first to give you that foundational knowledge to make the most out of this course. It focuses on teaching you skills like statistical analysis, Python, regression models, and machine learning in less than 6 months, although most people complete it way faster. Looking at the curriculum, you will see 7 different courses. The first one is kind of an introduction to data science and then an introduction to Python. And then of course about data analytics and translating data into insights, which is what they're actually claiming the course is about. But as you can tell, it's a lot of machine learning and data science things as well. The next course is about statistics, which is very interesting. Many courses will skip statistics, but they actually give you this foundational knowledge, and I think it's going to be very helpful and make you stand out. There is also a long course on regression analysis and of course machine learning as well, and then they finish off with a capstone project. So how can this course help you and who is it really for? I wouldn't say that it's really a data analytics certificate. And I mean, sure, many things are going to be useful and many things are related, but when it comes to the machine learning course, for example, it's not relevant for entry-level data analysts at all. So if you're limited on time, then you don't want to take all of these courses. But if you're looking to move more towards data science later, this could be a really good way to become a more technical data analyst and explore those areas as well, while learning data analytics in the first place. So you can also see if this is something for you. I also want to give a big shout out that they do teach Python in many of the courses, which is very, very good, but unfortunately not SQL. So make sure that you learn SQL on the side as well. Number 4 on the list is also very exciting, and it is the IBM Data Analyst Certificate. It's very popular, but is it still worth it? Now, it's for complete beginners, and you'll have to spend 4 months working 10 hours a week, and it also has a 4.7 rating out of 5 from nearly 20,000 reviews, which is absolutely amazing. There are 9 courses in the certificate, and the goal is to help you begin your career as a data analyst. So in the first course, it's basically just an introduction to the field, and then you move into Excel in the second course, and then start working with data visualizations and creating dashboards, and both using Excel and Cognos. And if you don't know what Cognos is, it's basically IBM's version of Power BI or Tableau, you could say. There's also a Python course as well as a Python project, and then you'll have to learn a little bit on databases and SQL and combine that with Python as well. And as you might have noticed, there's also a lot of Python in this course, which I think is a plus, especially because it's so useful and many employers are looking for Python skills. The next course is data analysis and then data visualization, and then finish up with a capstone project and all of this with Python as well. And then you're done. So how can this one help you? Well, I would say that it's a great one if you're looking to learn the basics and focus on Python. It's known to be more hands-on and more practical than Google's version, at least referring to the original certificate, maybe not the advanced certificate. But I would also say that it's slightly less polished than the Google version. The videos are not as nice, but they're focusing more on the concepts. They're basically just slide presentations and very basic, but in my opinion, it really gets the job done. And IBM's course has really good reviews and it's been around a long time. time, even before Google. So there's definitely a lot of good things to learn from this one. Number 5 is the DataCamp Data Analyst certification. Now, DataCamp is a platform offering trainings and courses for data science. And this one is different and it's not on Coursera, but I wanted to include it as a bonus because it's very popular for good reason. Instead of taking a course, you can take their exam whenever you're ready, and you basically just join DataCamp and you get access to all of their courses and all of their resources all at once. When you're ready to sign up for the examination, it's actually 2 tests. One is time-based and you'll have to answer questions that test your knowledge with a time limit, and the second part is a practical test, where you'll be tested on your ability to implement a working solution for a data problem. You're basically doing some common data analyst tasks and then you'll be tested on your ability to do so. And for this one, you can always choose if you want to focus on Python or R and take the test using one of these languages. You don't have to take it in both, but SQL is always going to be included. Now, the main advantage of DataCamp is that it's actually very affordable and a quick way to boost your resume, especially if you've taken courses in the past. You can literally just sign up, take the test and be done, or use the resources to study if you need to. But now let's move on to the final certificate, and I'm going to compare this one to the other options as well, and I'm of course talking about the Google Data Analytics certificate. This is the classic one that everyone's heard of, and it's brought so many people into the field of data analytics. But is it actually the best option? It's really a personal preference. I do like it a lot, but there are some people that just don't like it, and I understand why as well. It's not the most practical course, and it's 6 months at 10 hours a week, so it's pretty long, even if it is for beginners. If you do look at the courses, there are 8 different ones, and many of these don't use Python or something and focus on a specific tool. It's more doing a lot of things in Excel or just listening to presentations and understanding the theory. And for being so unpractical, it does get a lot of hate. But I would say that if you go in it with the right mindset, it can be a very useful course. It helps you get into thinking like a data analyst, and it takes it very slowly. Sure, it's not going to prepare you for jobs right away, nor are you going to know exactly how to do everything, but if you do start with this one and then you apply your skills in a more practical course, you'll have a really solid understanding both of the theory and the actual practical aspect as well. When it comes to the specific skills, it's also teaching you R and not Python, and that can be a downside depending on your preference, but you also get to try R, and it's pretty cool as well. Picking a course is a lot about personal preference, as well as where you're starting from and what you want to learn. And I want to hear your opinion in the comments. Share which one is your favorite and why. And your opinion might help somebody else or help me make another video in the future. I've shown you many great courses, but the most important thing is just to get started. And if you're confused, just pick one and give it a try, and I'll leave a link in the description where you can try them out for free. Thanks for watching and good luck on your journey.